Morning. Today's agenda, 12 nominations. Nicholas Chase, Daniel Rosen, U.S. Attorney nominee, are listed for the first time and will be held over. We'll vote today on Emil Bove, nominee, Third Circuit, and district nominees Ann Gaylord Moe, Kyle Dudek, Jordan Pratt, Edward Arto. We will also vote for Kurt Wall, Kurt Alme, Leslie Murphy, Janine Pereiro, and Eric Cyber to be U.S. attorneys. We also have the following three bills listed on the agenda for the first time: the TRACE Act, the Opioid Overdose Data Collection Enhancement Act, and the Child Act. These bills will be held over as well. Before we begin, I'll announce that if we haven't voted before 10:30, I'll plan to call the vote on all nominations at that time. If people wish to speak after that time, I will stay as long as needed to hear everybody out. Now, I want to address the unfair rhetoric and treatment directed at Mr. Bove by some of this committee, frankly, across the line. I've served on this committee for longer than anyone else in this room. I've seen a lot of confirmation fights. What we're witnessing has all the hallmarks of a political hit job, time for maximum media splash with minimum substance. Let's get one thing straight. I take whistleblower complaints very seriously. During both Republican and Democrat administrations, I have spent over 4 decades defending patriotic whistleblowers. I defended the Ukraine whistleblower's use of the whistleblower process despite serious concerns about the substance of his complaint, concerns that have been proven right over time. Yet, my Democratic colleagues made no effort to support whistleblowers who raised alarms about the Biden family. During the first Trump administration, I interviewed Donald Trump Jr. and other Republicans as part of our bipartisan investigation into alleged Russian collusion conducted through this Judiciary Committee. But when it came to the Biden family and his administration, even despite serious allegations and overwhelming evidence of misconduct, Democrats made no effort to investigate or conduct similar interviews. These were fringe claims. They involved potential crimes squarely within this committee's jurisdiction, and much of it based upon government records. Now, with respect to the current whistleblower, some have said that Mr. Ruvini is not a whistleblower. On that point, I disagree. My doors are always open to whistleblowers. However, the manner and timing of this disclosure isn't how the process should have played out. I want to give you an example. I received the whistleblower's complaint the morning before Mr. Bove's nomination hearing, at the same time as the New York Times broke the story. The minority apparently received additional records from whistleblower on July 1 and July 7th, but kept them from us. I didn't receive them until July 10th, the same day, would you believe it, as the New York Times dropped an exclusive interview with whistleblowers about these same files. This timeline raises very serious concerns. I appreciate that my staff has been able to engage respectfully with the whistleblower lawyers, and others who have come forward to discuss these allegations throughout the process. I've treated the complaint in good faith, as I always do. But that doesn't mean that I'm always going to agree with the allegations raised. Earlier this week, I led an effort to review the disclosure document by document and analyze the facts. The results, almost none of the material, I want to make clear, almost none of the material references Mr. Bove at all. More concerningly, the Democrat summary grossly mischaracterizes the documents that it purports to summarize. In short, the documents don't say what my Democratic colleagues say they do. Now, let's say even if we accept most of the claim as true, there's no scandal here. Government lawyers aggressively litigating and interpreting court orders isn't misconduct. It's what lawyers do all the time. Concerningly, the minority repeatedly recast discussions of litigation strategy. Now, they crafted litigation strategy as wrongdoing, even discussions that reflected the government's official litigation positions, some of which prevailed on appeal. These documents then give no reason to delay this nomination. So, let's stick to the facts. The whistleblower alleges misconduct, but 10 days after the key event he described, he signed a brief stating, without qualifications, that, quote, the government has complied with the court orders in this case, end of quote. If he believed the department defied court orders, why sign a brief as an officer of the court saying that it had complied? During the hearing, Mr. Bove firmly denied the allegations. He testified under oath, quote, I did not advise any Justice Department attorney to violate court orders, end of quote. Recent public reporting backs this account, his account as well. I'd like to enter into the record, and I have it right here. Months before the whistleblower came forward, his former supervisor wrote in a letter that Mr. Bove advised, quote, advised our team that we must avoid a court order holding an upcoming operation to implement the act at all costs, end of quote. This statement confirms Mr. Bove advised his team to avoid triggering a court order, not defy one, and that's consistent with his testimony. My staff has also interviewed multiple people who were present for the March 14th meeting described in the whistleblower disclosure. Now we have 4 separate people other than Mr. Bove who were present in the meeting telling us the following. There was never any directive to ignore a court order, and each of them left the meeting with the understanding that the Justice Department would aggressively litigate but would follow court orders. To my Democratic colleagues then, you've been accusing each of President nominees of insufficiently respecting the court. I have a few questions. Where was the outrage when Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez said in response to a decision about abortion drug access, quote, I believe the Biden administration should ignore this ruling, end of quote. Where was the indignation when Senator Wyden took to the Senate floor and said, quote, there are moments in history where Americans and their leaders must look at circumstances like this one and say enough. Not let's see how the appeals process plays out, or let's hope Congress can fix this down the road. Just enough. President Biden and the FDA must ignore it, end of quote. Where was the outcry a few weeks ago when Biden appointed Judge Brian Murphy flatly defied a Supreme Court ruling, or when Justice Tolwani ordered the executive branch to violate federal law and spend taxpayers' money in defiance of a law passed by both houses of Congress and signed by the president. And when it comes from their side, just as I've indicated, there's silence. No press releases, no hearings, no letters. So what does that add up to? A double standard, undermining their latest partisan attacks against Mr. Bove. This Congress alone, Democrats have sent at least 26 letters to 17 agencies or parties demanding records, delays, or investigations into President Trump's nominees. I'm holding them right here in a stack of letters that I've held up already, like clockwork. Just before hearing or a vote, we get another breathless accusation that one of President Trump's nominees needs further investigation. We've seen the slanted stories and reckless accusations before. We've been down this road. It's become routine, this Congress, but it is not new. We all remember what Democrats did to Justice Kavanaugh. As I said during Director Patel's nomination, quote, "This is becoming a pattern, and I will not facilitate a campaign to undermine the results of the election by delaying the consideration of nominees," end of quote. Mr. Bove has a strong legal background and has served his country honorably. He deserves fair treatment. The vicious partisan attacks and obstruction of nominees that we've seen from Democrats this Congress has to stop. One day, roles will reverse again, and my colleagues will want the same fairness for nominees of their president that they refuse to extend to President Trump's nominees. They should look around the corner and consider that day, Senator Durbin.